You guys are my link to the outside world. It's taken me a while to try to even film this. Number one, I couldn't find any of my chargers or batteries for my camera because I haven't filmed in so long. But I did want to do an update. A lot of people have asked for updates, and I do know that a lot of people who are newly diagnosed or not newly diagnosed with the same disease have a lot of questions, and they want to know what progress is like, especially after surgery, because it is a risky surgery. And I know that for a lot of people, they want as much information as they can get, and I totally get that because I'm like that too. So okay, so I thought I would give you just quick little details before I get into how I'm doing. I had surgery a little over 2 months ago on April 19th with Dr. Schrot in Sacramento. There's only 2 specialists in the world that specialize in this disease. My surgery was a lot more extensive than the average surgery. Usually the surgery is about 2 hours. Mine was 7. And he treated a lot more cysts than he normally does. So he treated 7 cysts and also treated 2 in the pelvic area from the back. So it was not treated the same way as the ones in my spine. And what else? He also took a fat graft from my butt cheek and packed my spine with my own fat before closing up the sacrum bone and all of that stuff. So with that said, my surgery was a little bit more extensive than normal, so I expected my recovery to be a little bit harder. But I definitely thought I was gonna be, even though the surgeon told me I wouldn't, I was like, I'm gonna heal a lot faster. So a little over 2 months post-op, I am still probably, I would say 80% of the time in bed. Mainly because my legs have lost a lot of strength just from even before surgery, numbness, all of that stuff. Sorry, I have my patio window open because I like listening to the birds, so hopefully it's not too loud. But I lost a lot of muscle mass in my legs. My left leg is definitely weaker than my right leg, and a lot of the nerves that were affected were on my left side. So I've been taking showers by myself now. I can get up kind of unassisted. Like, I can't just sit straight up from sitting down. Like, I need to hang on to something or push off on something. I have a walker by my bed that I lift myself up on to go to the bathroom. I've been trying to walk a little bit more, just like up and down the hallways. Definitely the days where I try to do a little more, I pay for it later and I'll be in a lot of pain. This surgery is unlike any other kind of surgery, and the recovery looks different. And I feel like a lot of other surgeries, like working out, you can push it a little bit and push your body to get stronger and stuff like that. But this one is kind of the opposite, where you need to allow your body to heal, and all those nerves that were touched are waking up and angry, and so every day kind of looks different. And I know that recovery looks different for a lot of people. There's several people who got surgery the week before and the week after, and their recovery looks totally different than mine. And I have to tell myself to not to compare myself or get discouraged because my recovery looks different. I think in my last post-op video, I talked about how I was 100% numb from my belly button to about mid-thigh. I do feel like some of that feeling has come back, definitely not 100%. I am going to the bathroom better, which is huge. Gosh, the basics of life that you realize are such a big deal when they are taken away from you. Oh my gosh, you guys. So I can go to the bathroom by myself. I can take a shower by myself now, which is huge. But I still have a hard time sitting up. Sitting up just hurts really bad. It feels like it's pulling on my spine, and my tailbone hurts really bad. So I can't really sit up for more than like 10-15 minutes. The only times I've left the house is to go to the doctor or to the hospital. So I've only left the house 3 times. Oh, I should talk about the hospital. So about a week ago, I was having a really hard time breathing. I still am. But my breathing got really labored, and for about a whole day I felt like I was holding my breath, and I felt like there was like an elephant sitting on my chest, and no matter how hard I tried to breathe, I could not get a breath. And one of the things we're told to be careful of is blood clots, since especially after surgery, if you're not very mobile, you can get blood clots very easily through your legs, and that can go to your lungs or to your heart or whatever. So I got a little freaked out, and I kind of decided, okay, if this continues and I cannot catch my breath, like, I gotta go to the hospital. So I kind of left it all day, because I have 4 small kids and my husband's already doing so many things. And if you're like me, I hate going to the doctor. I don't like going to the doctor. I don't like going to the emergency room. Or emergency room is even worse, because you know you're gonna be waiting there. You know you're gonna be there for a while. So anyways, I told myself, you know what, I'm just gonna try to go to sleep, and maybe I'll wake up and feel a little bit better. I ended up waking up that night about 3 times because I couldn't breathe. Like, I could not get a breath. So I ended up going to the emergency room, and because I had surgery, they are very thorough about everything. So by the time I got there, I also had a fever, and I had chills and stuff like that. So they looked at my incision site and said, you know what, it's actually really hot. And he thought that I had some kind of surgical infection. So right away they put me on IV antibiotics. And then I got a CT scan, and I got an x-ray because I wanted to check my lungs. And basically they said, because I've been on bed rest for so long, my lungs were not expanding like they normally do. And he explained it like, your lungs are like a plastic bag, and when you breathe in, it's like the whole bag gets full of air and then it lets out. He said, because you've been lying down so much, your lungs they're only working at a very small capacity, and you can't open your lungs. And so if it's the plastic bag, he's like, basically your plastic bag, being my lungs, is like stuck together. So I was like, okay, so are you guys gonna help me? And basically he just sent me home with a spirometer and told me to just like use it for breathing and stuff like that. So I still kind of have a hard time breathing, but I'm glad that there was no pulmonary embolism. They checked for that. They checked to make sure my lungs were clear, no blood clots, no pneumonia, anything like that. And I was fine. So because I had to change my insurance, because if you guys watch my past videos, like, I had to go through all these appeals and change my insurance and all this stuff. When I changed my insurance, what covered the surgery now no longer covers anything else, including pain management. Half of the prescriptions I need are not covered by insurance, but the surgery would have been like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I mean, it's kind of a good trade-off. But because of that, I was no longer able to go to pain management, so I'm just going to a primary doctor. But I am very lucky that he happens to be a palliative care doctor, so he treats long-term sickness patients, people with cancer or chronic illnesses and stuff like that. So he kind of knows how to help with pain and rehabilitation and stuff like that. So another hard thing is, you know, people have asked if I can do physical therapy, and again, because this is a nerve thing rather than a muscular thing or a skeletal thing, I'm actually not supposed to do physical therapy because it could actually hurt me more than help me. My surgeon said that if I could find a physical therapist that understands this disease, that understands what's going on, and can help me with my mobility, then that would be good. But kind of like, good luck, because we don't think I'll find one. So at this point, I am still on pain meds and a muscle relaxer, and they're actually gonna start me on a new medication. I have tried literally every medication possible for nerve pain. I'm also on, I don't know if you guys can see that, I'm also on a scopolamine patch, which these are crazy, okay, because these help with nausea, and I'm very sensitive to nausea, and I feel like the medication and all this stuff has caused me to get really nauseous. When I take it off, I instantly get very sick, which later I found out too, people go through withdrawals from a scopolamine patch, and they can get super nauseous if they just take themselves off. after 3 days use. I've had these on for over 2 months. Crazy thing is they do help me, but they're so expensive. They're so expensive. The insurance doesn't cover it, you know, just kind of things like that. So anyways, 2 months post-surgery, like I said, I definitely thought I would be at a different place. I thought I would be, I knew it was going to be hard. They told me 2 to 3 years, and then they told me mobility 5 to 6 months. So obviously I'm not even at that place yet, but in my mind and my heart and my spirit, I just really thought I would be at least a little bit more mobile. And I thought, well, you know, it's okay if I have some good days and flare days, as long as I can kind of live life a little bit more. I haven't gotten there yet, and you guys, it's been hard, I'm not gonna lie, and this is why I've been hesitant to update too, because I want to come in and update and say, look at me, look what I'm doing, and it's just been really hard. And there's a very big part of me that says, no, Jeannie, you need to share this part too, because it's easy for people to share the good things, but this is my journey, and this is my process, this is my recovery, and it might not look like other people's recovery, but progress is still progress. So I wanted to share with you. I am getting a little bit of feeling on certain parts of my bodies. I can poke it and I can feel it. And so that's good. I feel like my pain is getting a little bit better as long as I don't do certain things. So that's good. I feel like the side effects from the medication have been hard, because I feel kind of always a little bit tired and a little bit out of it, and the nausea and stuff like that, blurry vision. And so I cannot wait until I can just be off of all the different kinds of medication and hopefully just take pain medication as needed rather than be on a scheduled regimen of it, because I really don't want to be taking all these things for a long period. And for me, this is already a long period, you know. That's how I'm doing. I definitely have moments. I feel like I go back and forth. There's a part of me, I am so thankful, you guys. Without this season, I would not know how to be as deeply thankful for the most simple things. I would not know love like I do from God, from my husband, from my kids, from my friends, you guys. For 2 months, and I'm not saying this to brag, but I'm just saying this to say what wonderful people I have in my life. For 2 months, I had people from my church visit every single day and bring us a meal. Every day for 2 months. A lot of those days we have multiple visitors. I've had amazing friends come visit. I've had amazing friends come sit with me. My sister sent me an outdoor lounger so I can lie outside and get fresh air, feel the sunshine on my face. My in-laws have come and played with the kids, and we've had friends and family send us meals, send us gift cards for meals, and it has been such an amazing time for me to see the depths of love that I would not be able to see without this. And so for that, I'm thankful. I can't say I'm thankful for all this yet, but I am thankful for the things that it's showing me and the things that it's teaching me, and definitely growing my character, definitely revealing to me what's so important in life and what is so not important in life, learning to stick up for myself, learning that some relationships maybe weren't what you thought they were. You see the loyalty and love of friends, and in myself, I feel like I've been growing too. I've been listening to so many Audible books, and also realizing things that I am not going to waste my time on anymore, things that I'm not going to allow in my life anymore. Life is so short, you guys. I'm about to be 40, and can I tell you, I still feel young even in the midst of all of this, but I realize that if I'm lucky, I'm at like the halfway point in my life, and I already feel like I don't have enough time, you know. But gosh, I want to live with purpose and passion every day. And I tell my kids this all the time: no matter what your situation, you can do something. So I've been trying to learn my mind, my heart, my spirit. I've been listening to Audible books, been spending awesome quality time with my kids, having deep discussions with them, talking with friends, you know, visiting with people. Before, it was hard for me to meet with people all the time because I was always busy, busy, busy. And slowing down has caused me to reprioritize and really see what's important in my life. And for that, again, I am thankful. And when I come out of this, and when I am more active, and when I am able to sit up and able to walk around, able to go to a park, able to go watch someone sing or whatever it may be, I'm going to be so much more thankful. You know, we just take so much for granted, and I am thankful for the opportunity to live the rest of my life with my eyes open. I've always thought I was very in tune with that kind of stuff and very naturally thankful and observant and things like that. Oh my goodness, this has taken it to a different level. So again, for that, I am so thankful. I have another phone consult with my surgeon, Dr. Schrot, next month, and before then he wants me to get another MRI to kind of see what everything looks like, and see my progress. And at my first, I don't know if I talked about this in the other video, I did have a 1-month post-op phone consult with him, and he just wanted to check on me and see how I was doing, since I can't like fly up to see him again. And he did tell me, like, your recovery is going to be harder, and it's going to be longer, and it's going to be a lot different from what you're seeing from everyone. He's like, he said, a lot of times I treat 1 or 2 cysts, or I do this. He's like, I was all up in there touching all the nerves, and he was like, your surgery was a lot more extensive, so give yourself that time. Like, and I was kind of like, okay, I know you can't give me a timeline because we're obviously all different and my body is different. I'm like, can you give me a timeline? And that's when he said, I really wouldn't expect you to be very mobile for like 5 to 6 months, and then in like a year I could start doing like light yoga or swimming and stuff like that. And then for kind of like you to see where everything lands, 2 to 3 years. And like I said, I do have a lot more cysts in my spine that we believe are not symptomatic. So I am praying that they do not ever become symptomatic, so I never have to go through this again. And it is a disease. It's not curable, but it is treatable. So I think even learning that has been, this whole thing has been weird and hard because we didn't understand what was going on when I first got diagnosed. And as time goes by, and as even the group that I'm in on Facebook, hearing people's stories, I realize how serious this is and how debilitating it is, and how many people are bedridden for the rest of their lives. So many people lose function of their body and all of this stuff. So I do understand more and more how serious this is. And on top of that, I do still have those other issues that I need to at some point address. I don't know how and when. I need to get a neck surgery. I need to get another lower back surgery. But now I'm just healing, and yeah, I'm still in the same place as before, where I'm like, God, just use this for something good. Use this to grow me. Use this to grow my family and help us to learn and be better because of it. So anyways, that's it. Oh, one thing I did want to mention too, the last doctor's visit that I went to, he said something very interesting, because he was asking like how often I was leaving the house, and I said never. I'm like, I come and see you. And he was kind of talking about the importance of community and the importance of human relationship. And he was like, you know, we humans are made for relationship, and we're made for community. And when we don't get that, like, he's like, I really think it will help you heal more. And then I got to tell him how I have had such wonderful people visiting all the time. And he was like, oh, you're so lucky. But another thing he suggested was going to counseling. And he said a lot of people who get diagnosed with chronic illness or chronic disease, and a lot of his cancer patients or people who you know, are terminally ill or whatever, he will send to a counselor, because he is like, there is a process that you need to go through too, to grieve what has happened to your body and understand what's going on, and you know, all those things. And I really understand that, because for the last year, and I think I've shared it here many times, apart from the physical, I really feel like a lot of the times the harder thing is the emotional part and the mental part, you know? And I am so lucky I have a good support system, and I'm lucky to have my faith, but even still, I have been in some very dark places. And so when he suggested that and said, you know, you need to go through this process and grieve your body and talk to someone about all the feelings and feeling like life is passing you by, and the sadness and the hopelessness and the despair and the anger and all those things. Gosh, this is making me cry. I feel like this is my therapy a lot of the times. But when he said that, I was like, gosh, that makes such good sense, that we need to, you know, work through those things as well, our emotional health and our mental health in the midst of situations like this. So I wanted to share that because I know a lot of you have told me that you are going through things. A lot of people find my videos when they search this disease because they get diagnosed, they Google it because there's no information. We are given no information. No doctors know what to do, and so they Google it. So I know my videos pop up, and I've had so many people diagnosed being like, oh my gosh, I got diagnosed and I found your videos. So I just know that I need to share. But I also have so many of you guys who have said, I have this chronic illness, or I have this, or I have this, or I have cancer and I have this. So I wanted to share with you too, if you were one of those people, and especially if you don't have a good support system. And even if you do, maybe going to a good counselor that's going to listen to you and help you work through those emotions could be very helpful. Can you guys hear my stomach? Apart from the nausea, I have upset stomach all the time. Anyways, with that said, gosh, I have not gotten ready. I have not done my hair. I have not gotten dressed. I have not done any of those things since surgery. I don't even know where half of my stuff is. That's why I couldn't find the battery even for my camera. The only thing I've done is painted my nails because I can do that lying down. I feel like for a minute there, I felt like I lost myself. Like, I'm like, who am I if I can't do anything? And who am I this? I don't even look the same, and I don't even, you know. But can I just say there's been a part of that that's been freeing too? Because now I'm like, I get to reinvent myself and come out of this a better person. Come out of this as a clearer reflection of who God is, because I get to spend so much more time with him. And so much more time in prayer, so much more time in the Word, so much more time listening to books that is growing me on the inside. So I hope that when I come out of this as Jeannie 2.0, I'm going to be a different person, and I can live with a lot more purpose and passion and have my priorities straight. And yeah, so it's so funny. I said I didn't know what I was gonna say in this video, and here I am blabbing for how many minutes. Like I said, you guys are my link to the outside world that my doctor even talked about, and I'm like, yeah, well, I can feel like I talk to people on the internet. You guys have been such an amazing part of my journey. You guys have been so encouraging on here and on Instagram. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I'm on Instagram all day, every day. What is this? There was something there. And without you guys, I would be a lot more lonely, and I definitely know I would be having a lot harder of a time, and there would be a lot more dark moments. So for that, I am so thankful. I'm so thankful for you guys. Thank you for going on this journey with me. Thank you for your words of encouragement. If you are someone who has been recently diagnosed with this disease, I am so sorry that you have to go through this. So sorry. And if you are someone who is diagnosed with this and you live in a different country where you can't get to one of the 2 specialists, gosh, my heart breaks. Because even in this situation, I know that I'm one of the lucky ones that got to have the surgery, that got to get help. I tell my husband all the time, because I'm in this support group for people, I cannot imagine going through this and not having help from doctors, not being able to get to a specialist, not having the community, and it breaks my heart. It's so, because I understand it and because I can empathize on a different level because I'm living through it. If you are diagnosed with this disease, please don't ever feel alone. I think the worst thing that you can feel is alone and helpless and hopeless, like there is no hope, but there always is. And I just want to say, hang on, keep fighting for yourself, and keep advocating for yourself. No matter how many doctors or insurance or whatever closes doors, you gotta keep fighting for yourself, because there's still things on earth that you need to do and people need you. I know that the suicide rate for people who have this disease is very high, and I get it. It is a horrible disease that debilitates your life, that can steal everything from you if you allow it to. It can be a very lonely road, and it can be a very dark place. So I just want you to know that you're not alone if you are one of those people. YouTube has changed a lot. YouTube is kind of a mess. And what YouTube is has changed a lot, because it's become like a money, I don't even know what it's become. Can I just tell you, when I started YouTube 10 years ago, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know why I was doing it. But I told myself, Jeannie, share the things you love and encourage people along the way and point people to Jesus. Those are the 3 things I've always stuck to. And so I hope and I pray that somehow in sharing my journey I can do those things. I told myself I wasn't gonna cry, but you guys know I did. If you guys follow me, you guys know I have to cry. I'm a crier. Anyways, I just want to thank you guys so much for your encouragement, for your sweet words. And if you are someone out there struggling or diagnosed with disease or anything else or whatever it may be, please don't ever feel alone, because that's where Satan wants to keep you, and that's where he has his power. In you believing that you are alone, that no one understands and no one cares. So when you hear those thoughts in your mind, speak against them and know that there's a God that loves you and that you are never alone. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you soon.